What is good, YouTube? I'm back here today. Yesterday I made a very cringy video, and I'll get back on here to make another one. So I'm really overcoming this idea of being lost. I'm starting to figure it out within myself. I feel like there's so many people out there that just get to this point of being lost. And so I just want to share my story with it. I want to make these videos partly just because, believe it or not, I feel like I'll do a lot of like self work. I do have a routine of like breath work. Let's say I'll break it down. I wake up in the morning at 4 a.m. every morning. Let's 6 days a week. And I do meditations. I do breath works. I work out. I take a cold shower. I journal. I read. I'm on a semen retention span right now. I'm also doing keto with a buddy of mine, and I fast on Wednesdays. And a lot of that just seems extreme, like, oh, you're just trying to do all the hardcore whatever stuff. No, it's not about that. What I've realized, I've really recognized the benefits that's worked for me, to really kind of detach from the material sense, especially that semen retention. Golly, man, that's gold. And I didn't realize like how much of a difference like you literally feel within your body. And then even with that, and amongst the other things I'm doing, I'm learning how to kind of detach from the material and just really be more, in tune with myself and how my body feels and how I regulate my emotions, because I'm learning how to feel the triggers and different things like that. But I just wanted to make another video because I'm just trying to get over this cringe, and the only way to get over these cringe is to start making these videos. I'm at a point in my life where my wife right now is currently separated. She's in Arizona. We've developed this lifestyle that was pushed out the way we were supposed to. You have your kids and you get the house and yada yada. And we got that, man. I got the house. I'm currently a realtor. Before that, I was a director of engineering for for hospitals, and I jumped 2 feet into real estate because I was just chasing different achievements. A long time ago, I used to chase women. Then it was I was a cheater. I was a liar. Then I was chasing titles, and then I thought it was money and freedom. And I've made enough money and had enough freedom to realize like that's not completely it. I guess I do want more money, and of course I do want more freedom. But I recognize that when I had plenty of money in the bank, wife and kids were gone, sitting in this house that I bought, got a motorcycle, toys, different things, beautiful day, friends was at work, I didn't want to play on my phone, didn't want to watch TV. I realized that like I just wasn't feeling the inside, and it wasn't anything out, it wasn't anything external. It wasn't the new truck I bought, there was nothing. You reach a point where when it comes to money, you could buy things, and that's good and all, but like you can buy a new car every 2 weeks, and if you get the high from it, but once it becomes a new norm, you're just used to it, and then you're right back to the same old shit. You're right back to the same old thought patterns. And what I've recognized is my energy with how my energy's been in my mental state has the same patterns of life, like how I've been with my business and businesses and work the world. I've been with my relationships. I've done it with money. Like the same cycles kind of repeat itself through all aspects of life. And so when I noticed that, I started to realize, man, like it's not the common denominator is me. And it's not all this external stuff. It wasn't like, oh, I need more money, or it's just my job, or it's my wife, or it's whatever else. No, it's just me. So I'm getting vulnerable here, trying to, just get the sense of who I am back and really get used to just being me without the worry. And part of that is videos. I feel like videos is really going to help me, because even sitting here looking at this, looking myself in the eyes while I'm talking about this is really uncomfortable. And been putting out TikToks every day, just trying to get comfortable with it, and it's cringy, and sometimes I don't know what to talk about, and I just seem a little bit everywhere. But I really do geek out on this self-improvement stuff, mainly because I've found a sense of betterment within myself, and regardless of my external circumstances, I'm starting to recognize more peace, more joy, more gratitude in the moment. And as I embody that gratitude, I am recognizing the endless opportunities that are presented to me. And then what's funny, another thing that I noticed on the other side of that is once I got all these opportunities, all this stuff I thought I wanted, I was just so overwhelmed I didn't want to commit to one. I have like commitment issues, and I have commitment issues because I didn't know myself. Because you think that if I can just find this one thing that's going to get me a lot of money, I'll get it. It'll be it. Well, then I'll make enough money, and I'm making plenty. And don't get me wrong, I'm not multimillionaire, and of course I want all of that. But I've made enough, and my lifestyle's changed enough to realize that, like, if that was gonna make me feel better, I would feel closer to that betterment. But I'm not, and I've made enough to realize that, yeah, I feel the same way as I did making six figures as I did making $20 an hour or $10 an hour, and it's because it's me. There's a sense of emotional control that I've been lack growing up, that I'm just learning with myself, and realizing the trigger points that I have on the inside that's caused me to not be able to be at a state of peace. And I've always just try to ride out the highs or be down in the lows, and the lows make me want to hibernate and isolate, and the highs make me want to be out and whatever, and I'm always one or the other, and I never knew how until now to come to a state of centered, of neutrality, and really just learn that all the emotions are going to come and go. So and stop running from it and stop attaching to them. So when I get a happy moment, when I get a great idea that excites me, I want to go for it, and I want to entertain that, and I want to really be in that energy and just and let it flow and roll with it, but with the recognition that it's not gonna be that complete high all the time. So when it falls off, I'm not beating myself up over it or thinking that I'm falling off the wagon, because I'm just realizing the recognition that, hey, I don't have that expectation with it. But the same goes for the negative emotions. I've always tried to run from them. I've always tried to distract. That's why everybody plays their phone, always trying to get busy, watching TV, going doing something. Like, nobody knows how to just really sit and be with yourself. And I'm learning to do that, and it's wild. Like, I'm learning to be able to sit in a room and just a peaceful silence without thoughts going crazy, without the antsiness. And I still have it, but a lot of this has come from a general sense of like self-awareness, a general sense of self-improvement, and the work that I put in on finding me. And I really think that everything in life is a reflection of you. And just like I was talking about the cycles of how you go in and out of, I've learned to analyze my life and analyze my patterns. And just like the highs and lows with emotions, I have those same highs and lows in career, highs and lows with spending money, highs and lows with how I feel about my relationship, highs and lows of how I feel about my relationship with my kids, highs and lows of my social life. It's all the same. It's all roller coasters. And it's just because I've been running around like just trying to keep up with life rather than just letting life happen and be the observer of that. So I'm doing that now, and I really geek out on this stuff because I'm really starting to find that sense of who I am and not be so attached to all this external stuff. Man, there's one point that I was womanizing. I'd run around trying to, bang all kinds of women and whatnot, and you're thinking that would satisfy, and because the anticipation of it, you get the pretty girls, all the guys think you're cool, but you do that enough and you realize that's not it either, because at the end of the day, you're sitting at home and you're still by yourself. It wasn't a genuine connection. It was just a temporary feel, and ultimately, I probably hurt some people in the process. Don't feel good about that. I wasn't true to myself and hold up my worthiness in the process. I just openly give myself to anyone just because I want to get my dick hard or get my dick wet, and you realize that, and that shit ain't it either. So money ain't it, because I bought a bunch of stuff. I go spend it. I wouldn't spend all of it when I got it, because that's just me trying to feel some kind of external void. Get little dopamine spikes from going out to eat all the time and eating good food. All this good food and buying stuff, just a little trinkets, just something shiny, just to kind of spark you up a little bit. But I've done that enough, and you have to endlessly do that in order to keep that, and it's exhausting trying to keep up with that. It's exhausting trying to keep up with all these little things that you think's gonna really just make you feel like you're whole, and it's none of that. It's all starts from the inside out, and I've been on this journey for a while. I've been doing these like meditations and cold showers and stuff for about 3 years now. I've recently integrated some of the extra stuff like the semen retention and whatnot, but because I've just came to this part in my life where me and my wife, we don't know what we're doing, and she had to go find herself. I've got the house with the kids by myself. I'm pretty much broke right now, because I was chasing after I'm a realtor. And I've been chasing after the real estate career, and I've done decent in it. I've done pretty well, but I know I can make so much more money in it, but there's a lot of things I just don't want to do, and I had to ask myself, like, why do I not want to do those things? And you hear all this stuff in the success industry about discipline, consistency, and hard work, and I was like, I got discipline and consistency and hard work because I don't have to go to a job, and I still get up at early in the morning and do this routine that I stick with every single day and work out, and I hate working out and all this stuff, and I just keep doing it. And I just realized it's because it just doesn't stimulate me. And when you don't know who you are, you're just chasing this external stuff. And so I thought that real estate would be the thing, and before that I thought that title would be the thing, or a salary amount would be the thing, and there is none of that. It's all on the inside, and I'm starting to understand that the more in tune you get with yourself, meaning you learn who you really are, and not your name or not your roles or your titles, it's just the sense of you that was it's almost like a child, the sense of you that is pure, and you don't feel like you are dimming yourself at any way because of how it's going to be looked at or whatever else. And we all do that in some way. We all have this facade of who we are, and then we have that underlying sense of who we really are. And I'm a prime example of that. Man, I have days where I'm on my energy highs and I'm just go, and people's like, man, Matt's a go-getter, like you do so well. And I do well. I do. But, at the end of the day, I'm just like everybody else. Trying to find my place in this world, trying to, you want to be happy. And I just realized, the happiness, those emotions, if you just keep chasing those, you're going to exhaust yourself because it just comes and goes. But through my studies, through my self-awareness journey, I've learned the open-minded concept of neutrality and how not to attach emotions to things. And I feel like this has really been probably the biggest improvement and the biggest release that I've learned with myself to really help me start to, I guess, cope with life in a sense, and really just become more aware of myself and who I really am. And because with that, when you start to build that confidence in who you really are, and you start to work on you first, start to use the self-improvement or awareness, whatever you call it. You can go to church, however it means, however you find your sense of connection with yourself, of your connection with your higher power, or all that. It's just however you're able to find that, that's where the power lies. It's not about all this external stuff. It's really just come to know you first, because the more you build that relationship with yourself, and then you start doing the things that you know are better for you, not better for you so you can just do stuff. Because as long as you're attached to expectations, then you're not doing it in a genuine sense. I do these different things to just be the better me. I'm wanting to really just, develop that image that I know of my potential, that image that I have of me, that the best version of yourself. And I'm not attached to the image, but I know that dieting, I could do better. So I started doing dieting. I know I've maintained, but I've always just been half-assed on everything. And I've done that. And we start to realize that when you're half-assed with yourself, then you're half-assed in your relationships, and you're half-assed in your life, and you're half-assed in your career and everything. And that's been my problem. I've never been able to commit to anything because I've never been able to commit to myself. So I'm making these videos. I'm starting a YouTube channel. I got a TikTok. I'm starting a podcast for the guy because I just want to be myself. And one of the things I'm good at is talking. And you might not be able to tell right now, but you let me get a few of these in, and you let me get on my moment where I can flow. And because I just geek out on it. I love it. I love the awareness and the healing that I've had within myself, and I just genuinely want to share that. I genuinely want to share that to people because I've met so many people that's on their journey of they're in their milestones of life where they're wanting to change, and they're just wanting to, they're still trying to understand the concepts of things, and I have a good way about articulating stuff down to words, and ultimately, everybody's voice needs another voice. Let me rephrase that. Everybody's perceptions need the right voice. So all the people, the content, the books, the different things that I've read to get the knowledge, and beyond the knowledge, beyond the actual things I've read, all the different experiences that you have and information you take in, there's certain things that resonate with you. And I'm starting to realize through life is like a game like that. As things resonate with you, I feel like that's that sense of God speaking to you, or higher power, or best self, or higher self, whatever you want to call it, speaking to you. The universe, people call things different things, whatever. But ultimately, your sense of connection is finding those synchronicities in life. And so if you hear something, if you read something that just really hits you, I feel like that's what you needed to know at that moment. And so I think it's important that everybody share their journey. Everybody share, what they're doing and what they've done to heal and really become their better self in a genuine sense, not just for the money, not just for no fame, but just in a genuine sense, because there's people out there that are going to listen to you and it'll click with them differently than it has everybody else. Because I listen to all the gurus through different things. I'm not a big podcast listener, but I've heard the clips and different things like that. But I do the reels and the TikToks and the little quick contents. But just to get little quick ideas. But what I've learned is I'll take little tidbits from David Goggins, from Jordan Peterson, from all these the business gurus, Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, and different things like that. And beyond what they're talking about business, beyond that, if you really look into their sense of who they are, they've all just really embodied who they are so confidently that they just express it and found an outlet to express that in everything they do, and that's what's made them successful. And it's not this one thing that's going to make you successful in life. And success is not just money. It's just successful for your dream life. You feel it. You can't put it into words. You just feel. You can try to put it in words, but you just feel that you're meant for peace and love and whatever else it is. And it's just about finding you. But nobody takes the time to really get to know who they are. But when you do, I realize taking that time for yourself is where you start to dissect the anxieties and the confusions you have in your mind, because everybody's so desperate, and really learn how you feel and be able to discern when you're operating out of survival mode or the programs of belief systems that you've been bought into versus your own discernment and worthiness of how you feel about things and connection to your God or whatever that really helps drive you towards your path and helping people. So, but it all starts with spending time with yourself. And there's just such a mass propaganda and everything else out there about going to, like, whether it be manifest or hard work and just creating just a big business thing, a business view of it. And yes, everybody wants money. Money is the exchange of energy, I guess, in a sense, of the world that makes the world go round. So yes, money's a great thing. I want money, but I've learned to figure out with myself, like, what I want to do and what the reason why I'm doing these videos and all this self-work. It's because it's not about money. To me, I want the money, and I'm realizing that I do believe that, especially if I get in a one-on-one conversation with people at the right moment, I can have these really good, like, intimate conversations that really, because I just genuinely like to dissect people's visions, what people's going through, and help them just see my outlook of it, because I'm hoping I can plant just a gold nugget for somebody that helps them. I do it all the time just because I geek out and I just love it. So I think that with that, I can offer that to the world and get an exchange back from it. And I think that's how the world works. But rather than just chase stuff that thinks going to give me just money, because I can do that. But what I've learned is if you find yourself in a rut and you find yourself wondering, like, you're lost, and you're like, well, I always do this, and I've done this, and it's never enough or whatever, and you find yourself that destination addiction, or you find yourself just stuck because you're in a business of different things, and you're like, I could be making more money, but I can't figure out why. I really think it's because you'll reach an amount just to meet your survival needs when you press in, and you'll do what you need to do to survive. And then the reason you can't ever go any farther than that is because there's no driving force other than your survival needs at that moment. So when you find who you are, meaning you get back to the in-touch child that really just knows what just excites you on your genuine sense, and you follow that in every waking moment, you look for the genuine gratitude, I think that will be your guiding needle to point you in your due north to your path. And it will that driving force will just always be there. So you won't be so attached to just the money side of it, and that's what will help you put in the work to keep going. Like these videos, like I'm not making these videos to make money, and I've been trying to make videos on and off since 2018, and it's wild. Like I've made some Instagram videos, I've done TikToks here and there, but now I've just really been heavier on that. I'm just kind of at this point with, with my career falling off, and me and my wife separated right now, and I'm taking care of all the kids by myself. And I'm just like, man, I'm really just at this kind of opportunistic point. And many people might even call it rock bottom, but I don't even like to look at it that way. I'm just like, you know what? Like, I need to push into something, because things are, I'm getting tight on finances, and which is crazy because I made plenty of money this past year and years before that. But again, I've never even had a true vision of what to do with money. So I work to survive, and then I just end up spending it on all these distractions without even realizing it. But now I'm really realizing, like, I'm like, oh, I need to push into something. I'm like, well, why push in and start something new rather than why not just push into me? So I really just took this time to get right with me, spend a lot of time in my own head, decipher my own thoughts, decipher my bodily feelings of those thoughts, and recognizing, which ones are out of state of fear, which ones create the anxiety, and just really getting in touch with myself. So when you do that, you will gain such a certainty that you will start to let go of some of these confusions and the anxieties in your life. If you find yourself always questioning stuff, and you're like, man, I just don't know which way to go, blah, blah, it's because you don't know yourself. And the more you start to know yourself, when an opportunity presents itself, when an idea comes to mind, you will feel the move to make, when to make it. And because there's many times in life that like things don't just vibe, and you might have an opportunity, or you might have decision come up, and you're hesitating, and you're not really feeling it, but you don't really know how to explain it, whether it just be hanging out with people or just whatever it is, like going hanging out with somebody, going to an event, or just whatever. You're just not really feeling it. Well, it's because it's beyond words. It's you. And I feel like your body and your intuitive connection with your higher power, like really is there to guide you with that. But when you lose a sense of that, you're just so confused of like, well, an opportunity, I see an opportunity, and like, oh, everybody just jumps on everything, that then you go after it, and then you just realize that's not it, and then you're back in your slump. And I've done that so many times. So I'm here making this video. I'm going to keep making these videos. I don't even really know. I haven't got comfortable enough to really just dial in like one topic at a time. You see, I'm just kind of everywhere, just giving just a broad spectrum of what I'm doing and who I am. But this is me, and I'm really putting this out there more. I'm going to keep making these and let it see where it goes. I would love if somebody runs across this video, just ask me a couple questions. Give me a chance to kind of get my thoughts together about it, and talk to you guys about it, and just maybe I can help. Maybe I can just give you an idea of what I've done. I mean, you see behind me, it's my gym I got in here. Like I've done a decent amount of life. There's so many people that would love to have the lifestyle that I have, but at one point in time, I wanted to have a lifestyle I had. Then I got here, but you're always looking at the next mountain, and it's endless. There's endless possibilities out there. It could go forever. But what I realized is like, you can't have it all at once, and you don't know what you want, because like between social media and different things, propaganda, you get these ideas of like, this looks like the life, the success life, with all the airplanes or the Lamborghinis and whatnot. Like, you just think that's where the key lies, because you've grown up in a world where you listen to that rap music and everything else. And I'm not saying anything about music, because I love music, but you just listen to all this and you think that's where it is. But then you start to run into these like resistance patterns, because the life that you have, whether it be a family that you built or whatever else, and things aren't lining up, and you really have to find a sense to look yourself in the mirror and be like, who the hell am I? And what of all these endless possibilities in the world, like, do I really want just for me? And you have to break it down in all aspects and find and really connect those dots, but between your relationships and your family life and your work life and your travel life and social life, all of it. But people have these thoughts for split moments in their head, but nobody really takes the time to get that clarity. And I'm learning that beyond all these success principles you see out there about resilience and consistency and all that jazz, and if you don't have your clarity of what you want, you're never going to find the complete sense of success. And it's beyond money, because there's people out there that's with money. I know realtors out there. There's so much money in real estate. I know I work with realtors, investors, developers, different things, and there's so much money in real estate. But I know some realtors out there that make great money, and on the social media stuff, they definitely got that side of things in their life going well, but the rest of their life is in shambles and out of balance, and they can't find a relationship to save their life, and they're constantly trying to fill these voids with just all the external things they can buy with money, which, again, nothing wrong with that, but you can just see it in their eyes. And I'm on a path of finding my true self and finding what really, and just learning to express myself and living a quality of life rather than starting to I'm done chasing the life of feeling like I got to do all this stuff just because it's what I'm supposed to do. I don't think we come here to work. I'm not saying work is wrong. I think there's value in work. You can get an exchange, but rather than it be a time for money exchange, I think it needs to be an energy for money exchange. So what I mean by that is, if you're at an environment that allows you to just express a pure positive energy from you, and that you like I have a buddy who just lives, eat, and breathes mechanic stuff. He just loves it. It's his hobby. It's what he was when he's in the Navy. We was in the Navy together. That's what he was in the Navy as a mechanic. That's his hobby. And now he's out of the Navy, retired, and he does it. Works for UPS, does it as a job, and he just loves it. And that's what I'm saying, man. When you find that sense of just where you just really find that stimulating area that just allows you to just express your just positive energy and not be such a chore all the time, I really feel like that's when you're finding your smooth spot in life. Because life's about quality, not quantity. Quantity is not going to fill anything inside of you. It's just going to fill everything outside of here. And I know many people that's listening to this probably bought a car before, and then they're all excited about it, and then a few months later, it's the new norm, and they're ready for the new one. So take this with a grain of salt. I actually made a long video. I didn't know how long I was going to be on here. I had no agenda, just going here just to ramble, but I'm going to keep making these. I think this is the third one. Yesterday was a super bad ramble, but whatever. I'm just trying to embrace the cringe. So I hope when you guys see this, I hope somebody watches it all the way. If you made it this far, great. I'd love to throw me a question out there. Throw me something you're going through. Just let me get my perspective on that. And just until next time, peace.